Hey, good morning, guys. To put it in perspective for you, Netflix had only one nomination in 2014. This year, they've got 24, including 2 up for Best Picture with Marriage Story and The Irishman. It represents a changing landscape for the film industry. And joining me now to talk some more about it is Aymar Jean Christian, an associate professor at Northwestern and the founder of Open Television. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me. So, there's a lot of talk in Hollywood about a perceived bias against streaming services and Netflix. What are some of the criticisms that the film industry has about Netflix?
The film industry has a lot of feelings about Netflix, but before I start, I just have to say, I don't actually like the Oscars.
I think you and many others share that sentiment.
I don't think they really represent my generation or my perspective in movies, but it is interesting to see streaming competition move in and kind of crash the gate and see if they can change things up. Primarily the movie industry thinks that Netflix is going to kill the cinemas, right? People going into the physical theater, watching movies with people. Netflix does what they call day and date releasing, where they'll put it in theaters for a little bit, maybe as little as a day, and then put it on their platform for people to stream at home alone or with their families. And I think the industry believes that their cash cow is theaters. That's the classic movie experience, and Netflix is going to kill that.
But the thing that is really helping Netflix right now is you have a lot of directors and big actors who are really attracted to these projects. What makes it so attractive to come to Netflix?
Netflix spends a lot of money. They just announced this past week, or at least I think that analysis was announced this past week, that Netflix would spend upwards of $17 billion on content in the next year alone. That's a lot of money. And what Netflix offers is essentially large budget and creative control, which the classic studios don't always give, even sometimes the top directors. So Netflix is attracting top talent by basically saying, here's a blank check, you can do whatever you want.
More power, more influence, and a blank check. A lot of people wouldn't say no to that one. So when we talk about the Oscar films, I think in the past, it's been hard to watch the Academy Award nominated films because they're, limited release, or it's hard to get to a theater and see them. Now you have a lot of them, you can watch them from your couch. How is that really changing the industry?
We have yet to see, because day and date releasing is still not the most popular thing for most of the big Oscar films. It's still something where the studios want to preserve that classic experience. It's where they make billions of dollars every year. I think culturally speaking, I think perhaps our movie experiences are going to be a little less social, and I think film critics worry that that will make films less rigorous, right? That if you're not going to the theater with your friends and talking about it afterwards, right, having that long ride home where you have to dissect everything, you're not actually really engaging with the film critically. If you're watching at home, you might watch it right before bed and then go right to sleep, right?
Yeah.
And then by the next day, you've forgotten about half the details and the fact that there might have been about a dozen plot holes.
And you mentioned diversity with film. People often credit Netflix because they say it gives diverse creators an opportunity. You look at the films that got nominated for Netflix: Irishman, Marriage Story, The Two Popes.
Yeah.
All white.
Yeah, they had Dolomite with Eddie Murphy. They did try, but I think Netflix's claim to diversity might just be a marketing tactic. We have to wait and see, but some of the analysis that have been done by, for instance, USC and UCLA have shown that Netflix and Hulu and all the other streamers are actually not that much more diverse behind the camera, and that's going to show up in front of the camera, right? If you're not hiring writers and directors who are representative of this country, you're not going to get stories that are representative of this country, generally speaking. I think Netflix has made a play for industry relevance, and the way to do that is to work with established talent who has been established in the industry for decades, right? Who is the voting body for the Oscars? They tend to be white, they tend to be male, they tend to be older. The Academy Awards is, I believe, now 65% plus male and 85-ish% white. That's actually an improvement of a few percentage points from a few years ago, but the industry has a long way to go.
A long way to go. We're going to see that progress, hopefully, over time. You can catch the 92nd Academy Awards Sunday, February 9th at 7 p.m. It's going to be on ABC, and we'll have reaction the next morning here on The Jam. Thanks so much, Aymar. Appreciate you, man.